To be very specific about the issue of American presence in Iraq, there are a number of American military personnel who are based in Iraqi military bases, working with Iraqi military. Their mission is specific to enable, empower Iraqi forces in the fight against ISIS and to develop our capacity and capabilities in that regard. In that context, I do see general consensus that would support the presence of these forces. Any mission beyond that, beyond what has been agreed to by the Iraqi government, that is a subject that many political leaders of the country would take objection to. We have been there before, and there were often declarations of victory, declarations of mission accomplished, only to be reminded later that this threat is far from over. We are dealing with a very serious situation. Again, I do not want to underestimate the significance of the territorial defeat of ISIS, but we still have lots of extremists around. There are remnants of ISIS that are still operating or moving around in certain areas of Syria, and we also are intercepting intelligence that at least few are also operating in the desert areas of Iraq, not to mention other extremist groups that are in control of territory in Syria. This threat is far from over. We really need, we in Iraq, Syria, and the entire international community really to be vigilant and to making sure that we deal definitively with this threat of extremism and violent extremism. أنا سألتزم الدستور والقانون. القانون العراقي يجيز أو حالة الإعدام. أنا شخصيا ضد عقوبة الإعدام، لكن في مواجهة الإرهاب الخطير الذي أقدم عليه هؤلاء المجرمين من داعش، لا يمكن لي أن أكون فقط معنيا بقناعتي الشخصية. سألتزم القانون والدستور، والقانون والدستور يؤكدان أيضا على ضرورة اتباع الإجراءات القانونية الأصولية كي ينال المتهمين جزاءهم العادل حسب القانون. I believe this is one of the most serious challenges facing not only Iraq but the entire international community. We are literally talking about thousands of ISIS detainees and in many other cases as well, thousands of their families and their children and so on. Obviously, those ISIS militants who have been accused of crimes inside Iraq and are in the custody of the Iraqi authorities, they will be tried in accordance with Iraqi law. But there is a much, much wider problem, and for the international community really to shoulder responsibility and shoulder a role in dealing with this scale of the problem. Iraq will not be able to deal with it alone, and our Prime Minister has already communicated a series of requirements to dealing with this issue. This has to be an international response. This has to be a framework that will bring the international community together, both legally as well as in terms of the logistics and the security ramifications of dealing with the numbers of ISIS detainees that will be coming our way and the way of the neighborhood as a whole. This summit will be an important forum for Arab leaders to come together and to discuss the evolving dynamics in our neighborhood. Certainly the end of the ISIS, at least the territorial control of ISIS in Syria and in Iraq, represent an important moment in the development of this neighborhood and requires the neighborhood to come together and, in my view, not to be complacent. This was undeniably a very important victory, but nevertheless remains a military victory. There is a lot more to be done to eradicate the threat of extremism and to making sure that there will be no more manifestations of ISIS coming our way in the future.
calling for the withdrawal of U.S. troops.
There is Arab unity in rejecting that move. Golan Heights remain Syrian territory, albeit occupied by Israel, and we believe this decision is not conducive to peace and security in the Middle East, and the Arab world is united in rejecting that decision. Iran is a neighbor of ours. We have 1,400 kilometers of borders with Iran. We simply cannot ignore that reality. Furthermore, there are social, cultural bonds between the people of Iraq and the communities of Iraq and those of Iran. It is in Iraq's national interest to seek good relations with Iran. Two neighbors who have been in episodes of conflict over the years. We do not want to go back to those days.